Tesla's Elon Musk says if you can't stand the heat, then get out. In the company's analyst call yesterday, our next guest encouraged Musk to give more updates about progress with the Model 3 sedans in order to help the company's stock.
I completely understand your frustrations, and I'm frustrated too on how myopic we are right now. They also say that great years are made out of quarters, and great decades are made out of years. So everyone's short-term focused in some ways, and volatility has a way of shaking people out, even that are strong and want to be there. And so, anything you can do to help in the near term on that, I think is helpful for the stock. That's it.
I think that if people are concerned about volatility, they should definitely not buy our stock. I am not here to convince you to buy our stock. Do not buy it if volatility is scary. There you go.
Well, joining us on the phone now is Ben Kallo, Robert W. Baird's senior research analyst. He holds an outperform rating and a price target of 411 on Tesla. Ben, it's so good to talk to you because the move in Tesla stock last night after hours really blew my mind. I mean, the stock was holding up after hours earnings, and then all of a sudden you wind up having him unwilling to answer questions. Stock moves lower, and then he continues to say, if you don't like vol, get out of the stock continues lower. What was your take?
Well, first of all, good morning. So I think, there's a couple things here. His approach obviously didn't go over well, as we saw in after-hours trading. I think, first of all, I think the metrics, when we actually look at them, the performance, whether it's with the Model 3 or gross margins or where their cash position is, that beat expectations. Now, the backdrop, this is the most shorted stock in the country. You have constant noise that he's having to answer, the company's having to answer. So I understand that frustration. They laid out all of the details, a very detailed quarterly report. And I think that after a while of getting these same type of questions, he got frustrated and said, let's move on. I don't have time for this. Now, is that the right approach? It's not making friends out there, but this is kind of who he is, and this is what you get with Tesla, and this is why Tesla is where it is at the same time. So you get the good and the bad.
So Ben, if his job was not to sell the stock, he did a great job at it because you could see what happened to the stock price as a result. At the same time, he is burning through cash. As you say, maybe not quite as much as we thought, but it's a lot, over $1 billion in the corner. He's likely going to need some more cash before the year is out, even in success with the Model 3. How is he going to get that cash? Does this really mean he's going to have to go to the debt markets rather than equity markets to raise it?
So he reiterated that he is not going to raise cash. Now, no one believes that out there because that's a sentiment out there. Now, if he was really trying to pander to the markets, he wouldn't have acted like that, which I think is something that the bears are missing here in saying, oh, he's a fraud or he's a huckster or whatever kind of term you want to use, which is getting louder and louder. But for a guy to say, hey, don't buy our stock, it's volatile, if you don't want to be there. That's kind of honesty that we don't hear from many CEOs out there.
But nonetheless, to David's point, I mean, if they're basically going to burn through the majority of their cash this year with a buffer of like $1 billion, at some point he's going to have to go to the market. Will it be as open as it was before?
Well, I think if they deliver on the metrics that he set out, ramping the Model 3 and hitting their gross margin targets and hitting profitability, I think the market will be open. And I think along the way, and that's what I was trying to get out, is if you give some updates, then the market opens up for you.